Good morning, everyone. We want to get started on this February 4th with some of our special presentations. You can obviously see we have some royalty in the house. Lots of purple, green, and gold around our council chambers, and we really want to kick off the carnival season here on the West Bank in special fashion. So we'll get rolling.
Good morning, good morning. I have the pleasure to introduce the wonderful crew of the Crew of Music. And I'm so excited for them, for all those who are part of this organization, because the growth that has taken place over the last 3 years is amazing. I would like to ask for the captain and the founder of the crew, Mr. Henry Smith Jr., to please come up first. This proclamation reads, "Be it known that in appreciation of the efforts and participation of all involved in the parade, Jefferson Parish confers this certificate of merit upon you, Henry Smith Jr., captain, crew, and founder of this organization." Next, we have Dr. Chandra Griffin Williams, our beautiful queen of music, adorns us here today for our 2026 carnival season. Be it known that in appreciation of your efforts and participation of all involved in this parade, that the parish confers this certificate of merit upon you. Next, my friend and the Honorable Judge Adrian Adams, King of Music 3, Crew of Music 2026 Carnival. We confer this certificate of merit to you for all that you do, and we appreciate you so much. Thank you. Judge and Richelle, we are so honored to have you all here, and we're so grateful for all that you all do. And one day I hope to be in his shoes one day, but until that day comes, I'm so proud of this organization and all of you all for all your commitment to our community. Thank you all so much for all that you do. Thank you. All right. Next, we have Dr. Erica M. Bozeman, president of the Crew of Nandi for this carnival season. Thank you for all that you all do. The idea that we have wonderful carnival organizations and your participation along with the Crew of Nandi is just something that we covet. Thank you for being a part of this. This certificate of merit goes to Dr. Zeta Lynn Gabriel, Queen Nandi, third. I'm sure that your reign will be a beautiful one. And we're so grateful for your participation and you all doing this wonderful thing that you do year round. Because it's not just about the carnival season. I see what you all do in the public. Thank you. Congratulations. Okay. And we also have a proclamation for Dr. Kiana Danse, but she's not here, so I'll give it to you. Thank you all so much for being here and for adorning us with your beauty. Thank you all so much. So, council members, if you would. That's easy. I believe in this.
Okay, everybody, look this way. On three, we're going to take some pictures. On three, this is the countdown, okay? On three. One, two, three.
It was ducking.
We'll get it one more time on three. Everybody, look this way. One, two, three. And one more time on three. One, two, three. Thank you. I can do some of our
Now we got gifts for council staff.
Just give it. Jill, you get Jill.
That's the bag. That's in the bag.
Okay, Jill, give it to. They give it to Jill. Jill will bring it. Okay.
Congratulations, y'all, real fast. Congratulations, brother.
Okay, everybody can look this way. On three. One, two, three. We'll do it again. One, two, three. One more on three. One, two, three.
Looking forward to greeting y'all at the grandstand. Yeah. Yes, she did. Yeah. She told me she's right, brother. Thank you, man. Oh, yeah. She called me.
All right, good morning. On this Wednesday, February 4th, 2026, we are in the General Government Building here at 200 Durbany and are calling our meeting to order. I do want to begin first and foremost. I'd ask if you can please give us a moment of silence in the council chamber. We lost a JPSO sheriff's deputy this past week, Sheriff Deputy Christopher Ohlmeyer, and we want to begin with remembering him, his family, and all who serve our community as first responders. Thank you. We'll begin this morning with prayer and Councilman Byron Lee introducing his guest for the invocation.
To come up and do our invocation for us.
Let us pray. Most gracious and eternal Father, we come before your throne of grace just to say thank you. We thank you for this is the day that you have made, and we shall rejoice and be glad in it. Father God, we can do nothing without you. And Father God, before we ask for anything, we're asking that you please create in us clean hearts, renew our spirit in conformity to yours, dear God. Then, dear God, Father, we're asking that your special blessing go upon our President Lee. Father God, bless her cabinet and the fullness thereof. Father God, for we can't do anything without you, Lord God. Pour out your spirit that they may serve this great parish that's in this great state of Louisiana, Father God. Oh, Lord, have mercy upon all that are under the sound of my humble voice. Then, dear God, we shall give you the praise, honor, and the glory. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Ms. Theriot, if you would step forward to the podium and lead the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We got a play ball from back here. If the clerk could call the roll.
Chairwoman Van Rankin.
Present.
Councilman Walker.
Present.
Councilman Kerner.
Present.
Councilman Bonanno. Here. Councilman Lee.
Here.
Councilwoman Bohannon. Here. Councilman Liljeburg.
Here.
Parish President Ms. Lee Shea. Here. And I've completed the roll.
Thank you. Parish President, if you would like to address the council.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I would like to start also asking for a moment of silence for many of us know that we lost a very beloved Jefferson Parish employee, Maria LaGuardia Servini. Maria passed away on January 16th. I will say she was surrounded by her loved ones. She was a dedicated parish employee for 23 years to Jefferson Parish. She served as Public Works Administrative Operations Coordinator, coordinating essential services for the parish throughout her career. And she had a unique ability, if you knew Maria, to make any workplace better, bringing organization, compassion, and a sense of community to all those she worked with. Colleagues remember her as someone who led with kindness, humor, and integrity. Above all else, her life's work was loving and raising her 5 children, and certainly our thoughts and prayers. Maria was a beautiful woman, and she was more beautiful. She was beautiful on the outside, but she was more beautiful on the inside than she was on the outside. And then, as you mentioned, Councilwoman Jefferson Parish Deputy Christopher Paul Ohlmeyer, we're all shocked and saddened by that. Governor Landry for the state directed that all flags be placed at half-staff, and I did so as well for Jefferson Parish. So flags will be flown at half-staff for Deputy Ohlmeyer. So if we could have a moment of silence for Maria as well. Thank you. I'll start with the new organization of our administrative branch of government. This will be agenda item number 15, which amends the code relative to principal offices to allow flexibility in assigning position titles to the 9 principal offices that assist the parish president. This amendment is needed in order to update our existing executive organizational chart so that we replace the current structure of 1 chief operating officer and 1 deputy chief operating officer with 2 chief operating officers. And look, I could have just done the easy thing and just replaced someone with Steve Lashute's position. Obviously, he recently retired, but I want to use this opportunity as a way to fine-tune the organization and make it better. So we have had a series of discussions probably since the year began on all these moves that we're making. But just for some background, historically, the chief operating officer's day-to-day has been, you know, if you asked Steve when he left, he said, you know, his job was constantly putting out daily fires. From early mornings to late nights and over the weekends, there's no break. We have a very busy 43. We're a very large, one of the largest governments in Louisiana, 43 departments, vibrant and busy departments. And I think if you look at that role and when we look back, those daily putting out fires and need quick decisions leaves little time for proactive management or meaningful one-on-one time with department directors. And over time, I think that position can honestly lead to burnout. You're even called when you're on vacation. You're called late at night, which is why I want to look at maybe separating that a little bit, separating that workload between 2 COOs moving forward, again, because we're such a wide organization. The organization will be split up so that half of our departments report to 1 chief operating officer and the other half to report to the other chief operating officer. I assure you both COOs will continue to be involved in all major issues. The difference is that the first call on day-to-day issues will be directed to just one of those COOs. Either my proposition would be Shireen Gegenheimer or Mark Drews. This change also provides flexibility to allow future parish presidents to build leadership teams that reflect their priorities and management style rather than being locked into a rigid organizational chart. Currently, the parish president is limited to a fixed structure of 9 executive positions, 1 COO, 1 deputy COO, and up to 7 CAAs, chief administrative assistants or executive assistants. This would allow those executive positions to be allocated however the parish president believes is most effective, while staying within the executive plan, while staying within the parish president budget, and while maintaining council oversight and approvals that you would have. Pending the council approvals of this change, we will be requesting council ratification for new appointments at the next meeting. Of course, every time you make one change, you have follow-up changes behind that, so we have to do this in phases. So that's what that amendment is about. And I'm happy to discuss it more when the item comes up. The recap of recent successful events. We have been very busy. This is the start of the year, but we have been very busy since the start of the year. Our household hazardous materials collection recap on Saturday, January 17th, we hosted our household hazardous materials drop-off event on the East Bank at the Shrine on Airline. Thanks to the participation of 500 Jefferson Parish residents, we safely collected over 30,000 pounds of household hazardous materials, helping protect our community and the environment. The event was made possible by our Ecosystem and Coastal Management Department. A special thanks to the other departments and partners who helped, including the LSED, Louisiana Stadium and Exposition District, Legacy Environmental LLC, Capital Area Corporate Recycling Council, JPSO Laser Division and Traffic Division, our State Fire LLC, Parks and Recreation, and our General Services Department. Tree cycling recap. Our 2026 Jefferson Parish Christmas Tree Recycling event took place on Saturday, January 24th in the town of Jean Lafitte. More than 3,700 Christmas trees were collected for this year's event. These trees are used to build wave-dampening fences located off the shore, helping to reduce coastal erosion. A big thanks to all residents who donated their Christmas trees, to all the volunteers who placed the trees out in the Barataria Basin, and all our parish departments who helped make this a success, including Environmental Affairs, Ecosystem and Coastal Management, General Services, Fleet, Emergency Management, Fire Departments, Public Information Office, Recreation, Parkways, and Streets. Obviously, we've had a lot of very cold weather. We want to thank many of our parish departments and employees who worked this event this past weekend and the weekend prior as we prepared for and responded to winter weather. This includes our Emergency Management Department team and Public Works departments, our CAA over public health, and our JPRD staff, our JPAW staff, and as well as our public information office. Additionally, all our partners for the warming shelters, including JPSO for managing 24-hour security, Second Harvest for providing food, and JPHSA who help bring in people in need of warm shelters to our centers. As temperatures continue to climb above freezing this week, the water department is reminding everyone to discontinue trickling that water to help minimize overloading the system. Buildings permits, code compliance, and enforcement certifications. We're very proud of these departments, our building permits department and our code compliance department, who are now certified through the Internal Code Council. These certifications are based on national building and property safety standards, which means our inspectors are trained at the same level of experts across the country. Also, for the first time ever, we have inspectors gaining certifications across multiple disciplines, so one person now has the knowledge and skills to handle more inspections more efficiently. A big congrats to our code compliance department employees who received the certification: Janine Morgan, David Goudan, Kenneth Brown, and Lisa Mooney. And our building permits employees: Mark Henry Sr., Alexandra Lopez, and Patrick Leonard Jr. Our library, we have a new showroom for our Beyond Books initiative on the Library of Things collection. It's open at the East Bank Regional Library near the main entrance, with shelves containing various items that can be loaned out for 3 weeks at a time, including things like a record player, vinyl albums, lawn games, board games, kitchenware, children's toys, and musical instruments. We also have a series of financial literacy classes licensed by financial advisor Sheila Cow. They're underway now at the Wagner Library, with seminars scheduled at 4 p.m. on Wednesdays, February 18th, February 25th, and March 4th. Topics including college savings accounts, retirement income, budgeting, and debt management. Free tax preparation services are available with licensed agents at the East Bank Regional Library, River Ridge, Wagner, Tarrytown, and West Bank Regional, and Live Oak. Through April 15th, the IRS deadline, on a first-come, first-served basis. And Memory Cafe is a welcoming place for adults who want to stay social and keep their minds active. Patrons and their caregivers may engage with games, music, crafts, while connecting with others in a relaxed, friendly setting at Westwego, Belterre, Rosedale, Avondale, and Lakeshore libraries throughout February with the Mardi Gras theme. Visit our calendar at calendar.jplibrary.net for a full list of upcoming library events and details. And then transit, we're excited to share that JP Transit is moving forward with enabling our MITS and paratransit passes for purchase through the RTA La Pass app. This is an important step forward that will improve accessibility and convenience in the overall rider experience. Previously, paratransit riders had to carry exact cash for every trip or take a trip to our 118 David Drive, a location, to purchase booklets. Now, with this new mobile ticketing option, riders can purchase their passes directly from their phones, eliminating cash handling and making travel simple and more efficient. As part of this launch, we're piloting a one-way paratransit pass. Riders will initially be able to purchase one pass at a time, with a shopping cart feature coming soon to allow multiple pass purchases in a single transaction. Our Public Safety and Grants Administration, we received very exciting news. FEMA has approved an additional $89 million in public assistance funding for critical infrastructure projects, marking the successful resolution of long pending federal reviews and nearly 5 years of dedicated work across multiple departments. So the funding supports several major priorities, including $59 million for the 50-mile water line replacement from Grand Isle to Lafitte, $17 million for debris removal in the Barataria Basin waterways, $11 million for the temporary repair and stabilization of the Grand Isle water line. In addition, 2 other significant projects in recreation and environmental have been obligated, including $4.2 million for the Rosethorn Gym replacement project and $1.4 million for the private property demolition program, bringing the total recovery investment to more than $94 million. Obviously, this funding represents meaningful progress in Hurricane Ida recovery and a major investment in the long-term resilience of our parish. These approvals were made possible through close collaboration with our Public Safety and Grants Administration and our Public Works team in water and drainage. A lot of work goes into this years-long process getting this funding approved, so we want to thank everybody for that. The technical expertise, detailed documentation, and persistence were very critical, so congratulations to all involved. On today's agenda, you will have many items calling for polling place changes. The clerk of court requested that 17 polling places be moved permanently due to having elections that extend into the summer and winter. I know we've worked with our council district's offices on these. These polling places are uncomfortable for poll workers when there is extreme heat or cold. Some of them have no HVAC system. So we want to make sure that we're making those moves. The new polling places have been reviewed by our Jefferson Parish Clerk of Court, General Service Department, our Parish Attorney's Office, as well as we said, I know we work with all of the council districts. Bicentennial, we're having a year-long bicentennial celebration. It's going to close out on February 11th at 10 a.m. in Pelican Park, outside the General Government Building. We're going to commemorate a year of celebrations and milestones with the placement of a time capsule inside the Bicentennial Sculpture Park that was unveiled 1 year ago in Pelican Park. If you're trying to do the math and thinking who's going to open this in your family tree, I think I figured out it is my children's grandchildren that might be middle age around that time. So none of us living, but so the time capsule will preserve artifacts, memories, and messages from each of our council districts reflecting Jefferson Parish's past and present to be open in the year 2125. That ceremony will also feature live music by Jefferson Parish Schools John Ehret High School Marching Band. Our employees and council officers are also invited to join us for this ceremony next week and for a group photo in the shape of the number 200, which we'll be taking today at 2 o'clock outside the GGB. And that photo that we're taking today in the shape of 200 will be placed into a time capsule. So, and then next, and finally, our carnival season, we've been kicking that off. We'll kick that off this weekend with Family Gras. The crew of Excalibur will roll on Friday, and the magical crew of Mad Hatters will roll on Saturday. All residents are advised that it is against federal law to fly drones on our parade routes, so Public Works and our emergency management team will be placing those signs, those no drone zone signage around the route. You want to visit our carnival season dashboard for more information, including the parade schedules, the routes, and the Family Gras entertainment. jeffparish.gov/carnival season. You can also remember if you text JP Mardi Gras to 888-777 for real lifetime alerts. And lastly, I want to congratulate, we just found out the other day, the 2026 Queen of Zulu, Sherelle Chapman, is one of our employees in a public project coordinator for road restoration in our Jefferson Parish's Engineering Department's West Bank Inspections Division. Obviously, it is a true honor in the region to be the Queen of Zulu, so we're so proud that she's one of us. So, thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. We are very proud. We have lots to be proud of, including our Zulu Queen. Anyone have any questions or comments for the Parish President?
I would just like to mention also, for the first time ever, the King of Zulu resides in Jefferson Parish in Council District 2, Mr. Ron Tasson. He's the first King of Zulu ever from Jefferson Parish. So congratulations to him as well.
Great. Awesome. Councilman Walker, I know you had asked for a moment of personal privilege.
Yeah, just to put on everybody's radar that February is Early Ed Month in the state of Louisiana and across the country. And if you have ever heard me speak, at some point coming out of my mouth will be something about early childhood care and education. We've made a point to be very supportive of it on the Jefferson Parish Council for the past several years. There is a dollar-for-dollar matching fund through the state of Louisiana that our legislature has been so great in setting up, and our Jefferson delegation has worked wonderfully with us. And over the past several years, we've dedicated roughly $2 million to the cause. Now, that's a small bit of change in the grand scheme of things, and we're just scratching the surface. But the state has also pitched in last year $70+ million, pushing $80 million, and the year before that, tens of millions of dollars as well. But the reality is, to serve all the children that need to be served in Jefferson Parish, the state would need to contribute $100 million over 10 years to really make the impact that needs to be made. So we're going to keep pushing. We'll keep helping on the local level, and I know our state is committed, and they're going to keep helping as well. All of our legislators are committed to this and making this fund permanent, and hopefully we on the local level can find a permanent funding source at some point so it's not cobbled together year by year. But again, Early Ed Month in Louisiana in February. Thank you.
Councilwoman Bohannon.
Yes, I just wanted to clarify, the King Zulu might live in District 2, but he's from Kenner. So just feel it very important that everyone knows that. Actually, I was asked by Joe Marino to make this announcement today that the Louisiana Key Academy, which is the dyslexia academy that he's been talking about for so long, they are having their first open house. It is tonight. It's for 1st to 5th grades. This is a tuition-free public charter school designed for children with dyslexia. So that'll be tonight at the cafeteria of St. Mary Magdalene Church on West Metairie Road from 3 to 6 tonight, so anyone interested.
Thank you very much. Any other council members? All right. This is the portion of our meeting where members of the public have an opportunity to speak on anything, any resolution on the council agenda. The items that are ordinances, which are 11 through 17, those you would come up to speak on specifically. So this is any item that is a resolution on the council agenda. Please feel free to come forward. You have 3 minutes, and if you would say your name and your address as you begin speaking.
Madam Chairperson, can I mention something before we start? So if you're here in reference to item 68 on the regular agenda or item 11 on the addendum agenda, both of those items are going to be canceled today, and we'll be bringing back something jointly at the next meeting. So please know that both of those items are being canceled.
Thank you. So that's item 68 on the regular agenda, item 11 on the addendum agenda, both being canceled. So again, if you were here, you do still have the opportunity to speak if you wish to on any item on the agenda.
Kim Chatelaine, Inspector General, speaking on items number 68 on the regular agenda and the addendum agenda item number 11. I will try to keep my remarks brief. I'm addressing you as in September of 2024, I was criticized for publishing a document not giving the council an opportunity to respond. Subsequently, I was criticized for not speaking in October of 2023 when the council first passed a lease that was later reported as being materially deficient. I later released a report to make sure that you had an opportunity to respond before you chose to take a vote. I did not get responses. The vote went forward, and the report was ignored. So at risk, I speak today because these items are on the agenda, and I don't think that it's coincidental that they appear on the agenda because I think that the backdrop of this remains the Gretna Brew Pub. The brew pub was promoted, and numerous people came up here to the podium, chastising me on the fact that this $10 million was going to be a match to larger state funds. We now know that those state funds are not coming, and the match is not there. I report to the Ethics and Compliance Commission every other month and report on the open matters that we have. Today, I report to you. We have an ongoing audit of Jefferson Facilities, Inc. We have an ongoing audit of Jefferson Redevelopment, Inc. We have an ongoing evaluation of the 519 Huey P. Long transaction. And we have an open matter that will be a review of how the process for capital projects unfolded. In September of 2024, when asked about that report, I said, having some experience with the parish, and frankly, does go back to the Performing Arts Center, that I was afraid a moment would come that the public would then criticize me and ask, when this transaction fell apart, where was the Inspector General and what was she doing? That was my fear. I did the work. It was 35 pages and 113 footnotes on the first publication. It was 46 pages excluding the expert report and the 53 footnotes, and there has been no corrective action to address any of the concerns across those 80-something pages and 160-something footnotes. But now, I hear the public murmuring, where is the Inspector General? Along the way, we know we had an ordinance proposed that would prohibit
And just to note, For any of our speakers coming forward during public presentation portions like this, the microphones will automatically cut off at 3 minutes to make sure, excuse me, that we're being fair in our time for each speaker. So again, it's not personal if you're speaking and the microphone goes red. That happens automatically at 3 minutes. Any other member of our audience who wishes to speak on a resolution on the agenda?
President of the River Ridge Community Association, 8924 Rensu Drive. I'm here to speak on number 70. It's a concrete crushing facility in District 3. We passed a resolution on Monday night asking you to either defer this or let the planning department have their say before you vote on it. We spent a lot of money. What they're doing is asking for them to be exempt from the permitting, land use. We spent a lot of money on that industrial land use survey just recently. And this project looks like, from the Google search, that it's been going on for like 3 years. It's been before the Planning Advisory Board at least 3 times. Just before the meeting, Councilman Byron Lee's office explained to me that there was a snafu and the people didn't know what they were supposed to do. Well, in 3 years, I lived by the law in my career, and ignorance of the law wasn't ever a defense. Well, it shouldn't be if you're trying to start a project and you're a business owner. You should know what you need to do. It's been going on 3 years. It's been denied, I think, and been pulled twice. And on September of last year, it went before both the Planning Advisory Board. They denied, recommended denial. And then the Planning Board, I have their report. We Googled it yesterday. I have their report. It's quite lengthy on why they're saying it should be denied. So if you pass this and you say they can be exempt, then who's going to come up next and say they want to be exempt? You're starting a precedent. You're opening Pandora's box. If you allow this, I say hold it, let them go back to the Planning Board and fix whatever needs to be fixed. If not, y'all need to read that board, their report from the Planning Department and see why they are saying, it's several pages long, and things that they thought were wrong with it. I think that you should hear from them before you vote to exempt somebody from regulations that y'all spent a lot of time and a lot of money producing. Thank you.
John Odell, and I'm a community organizer. I represent a coalition of grassroots organizations across the parish, including the Convention of States, Louisiana Republican Assembly, Home Defense Foundation, and others. It's my feeling, I would love to see In God We Trust on this blank wall over here, for one thing, but it's our feeling that government shouldn't be in a position of picking the winners. We're able to do plenty of that in the normal course of your duties. But when it comes to certain things like the operation, moving forward with the brew pub in downtown Gretna and other things that have occurred over the years, the fix of adding payroll overhead paid with taxpayer dollars, I don't care if it's federal, state, or local, it comes out of our pockets one way or another. Just want to let you all know that the red shirts, we are watching.
Hi, my name's Pete Brockett, and I've lived in Bridge City for 45 years. I'm here for the LRA. I represent them. And anytime you mix public money with private money, the first thing that comes into our heads is corruption. I mean, that's the first thing that you think. You know, who's getting what favor? So I don't believe you should increase the board because you didn't get the right vote the first time. I mean, how many are you going to put on the board? Say you put 5 and you don't get the vote. Do we put 8? Do we put 9, 12? That's my point. I just don't think you should be mixing private money with public money. You know, we got so many projects you could do without mixing money. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Debbie Theriot. I am the Vice President of the Louisiana Republic Assembly for the Greater New Orleans region. I'm here today because a lot of our members couldn't be because the meeting's at 10 o'clock in the day. Most of them are working. So I'm here to also express their voice. And what we want to say is to not compromise the integrity of the JFI board by stacking it. That's not going to change the results. That's not going to get back that $10.3 million we've already spent of taxpayer money. And I thank you for your time and consideration, and just hope you take that into consideration when you do vote on the matter. Thank you.
And I'm representing a few organizations also, including Home Defense Foundation, Louisiana Republican Assembly, Republican Women's Club of Jefferson Parish, and the Tea Party. So we're quite involved, and I feel like I'm representing every one of those members too. And agree with everything that's being said, and I just want to say that that we're all just very concerned about this situation. So thank you.
My name is Dennis Burke. I live in Metairie. I'm a member of the Louisiana Republican Association, NOLA region. I agree with everything that's been said so far. And I want to add that I don't think it's right as a government to move into a public building using public money to house two private businesses, especially since the money does not come back to the parish. Thank you.
Mark, lifelong resident of Jefferson Parish. I know quite a few of you. Shireen, Cynthia, Kim. So I'm here to talk about the concrete crushing. I'd like to know if all of the members are familiar with crystalline silica dust and how far it can travel and what it does to a human. 100% of any of the dust that's under 10 microns can travel 160 miles. To put it in perspective, what's 160 miles? Jackson, Mississippi, 3 hours away. And that's going to be in a circle. You're setting the parish up for a liability that is going to be every city and every county and every parish can come back and sue Jefferson Parish for what you're about to do. This dust in regular everyday wind is going to carry at least a mile at minimum. And 100% of the people in that mile are going to get sick. That dust, you are going to breathe that dust. When you're at home in your yard, when you get in and out of your car, you, your children, and your grandchildren are going to breathe that dust. And the dust isn't going away. It's going to be here permanently. There's not going to be anybody going around vacuuming it up. Scoliosis, you familiar with that? That's the incurable disease that's caused by silica dust, crystalline silica dust. It's irreversible. It stiffens your lungs. You cannot get rid of it. There's no cure. You have copies of all of this. These are my notes, all bullet pointed, 3 pages. I want this in the record. Every one of you should have copies of this. I want to make sure that everybody knows what you're getting ready to do. This disease is often fatal. When not fatal, it puts the individuals under oxygen 24/7 and in a lot of pain. It can cause kidney failure. It can cause cancer. This is not something to be taken lightly. I frankly am in disbelief that Jefferson Parish would do this to itself. and disbelief. Not only does this dust create health risks, but there's noise pollution to the people who live in the area. There's flying debris to the workers that work around this equipment. That dust, whether or not they use water to suppress it, is going to be carried out of that location on trucks. How many times have you seen a truck going down the road with sand and it's blowing all over the place? So we're going to have trucks leaving with silica dust, and it's going to be blowing all over the place, all over the roads. And you're going to be breathing this. But you're going to be breathing this. Thank you.
Thank you, and we were given copies of the information you provided to the clerk. Anyone else here to speak on a resolution on the agenda? Are you here to speak on a resolution on the agenda? Nope, just sitting down. All right, I didn't want to pass anyone over. So we will move on to the, move forward in our agenda. First to the ordinances to be deferred. I have that item 1 is to be canceled. Item 2 through 4 to be deferred to the February 25th meeting, which is our next meeting on the East Bank of Jefferson. On motion of Councilman Walker to defer these items and cancel number 1. Councilman Walker, seconded by Councilwoman Van Vranken. I know we have to get a hang of the voting again. So if you would vote your machines on whether to defer these items. Let's see. Show the rows. There we go. All right, that's all 7. So voting is closed. Passes unanimously. I've got to remember which buttons to push. So those items are deferred, with item 1 being canceled. Madam Clerk, item number 5.
A resolution selecting a person or firm to provide professional architectural engineering services related to the design and construction of Jefferson Parish Community Action Programs, JeffCAP, Community Centers Improvement on the Resilient Community Infrastructure Program, funded with HUD CDBG DR funds, awarded to the parish by Louisiana Office of Community Development Disaster Recovery under SOQ 25-034.
Councilman Kerner, your motion, or your selection?
Move on Meyer Engineer.
Councilman Kerner selects Meyer Engineering, and seconded by Councilman Lee. Voting is open. If you'll vote. Moving to select Meyer Engineering. Voting is closed. The measure passes unanimously. Madam Clerk, item 6.
A resolution selecting a person or firm to provide professional landscape architect services for the design and construction administration for the West Bank Sewer Treatment Plant Buffers Project, Council District 3.
Councilman Lee, your selection. One second. Go ahead.
This is working. Kyle and Associates.
All right, Councilman Lee selects Kyle and Associates, seconded by Councilwoman Van Vranken. Voting is open on the selection of Kyle and Associates. Voting is closed. Measure passes unanimously. Madam Clerk, item 7.
A resolution selecting a person or firm to provide for professional consulting services for a comprehensive Jesse Owens neighborhood study under the Resilient Communities Infrastructure Program for the Department of Community Development and Department of Recreation under RFP number 0509, Council District 3.
Councilman Lee, your selection.
Dana Brown and Associates.
All right, Dana Brown and Associates on motion of Councilman Lee, seconded by Councilwoman Van Vranken. Voting is open. Voting is closed. The item passes unanimously. Madam Clerk, item 8.
A resolution selecting a person or firm to provide intelligent transportation system for the Department of Transit Administration under RFP number 0507.
Councilman Walker, your selection.
The only eligible vendor, Avail Technologies.
Councilman Walker moves on Avail Technologies, seconded by Councilwoman Van Rankin. Voting is open. Two more members to vote. One more member to vote.
That's you.
Oh. Doing too many things. All right, that's it. I think it's a wand. All right, ending the vote. The measure passes unanimously. Madam Clerk, item 9.
A resolution selecting a person or firm to provide automation and industrial control services for the Department of Drainage, Department of Public Works under RFP number 0508.
Councilman Walker, your selection.
The only responder, Prime Controls LP.
Councilman Walker moves on Prime Controls LP, the only responder, seconded by Councilwoman Van Rankin. Voting is open. If you'll cast your votes. One more. Councilman Kerner is in. All right. Vote passes unanimously for Prime Controls. We've now reached the public appearance portion of our agenda. So these are summary ordinances. Each will have a public hearing. If you're here to speak on one of these ordinances, you would come forward at this time. Madam Clerk, if you'll read item 11.
Summary number 26651, amending the official zoning map of Jefferson Parish, lots 11 through 17, Oakwood Estates subdivision, located at 121, 123, 125, 127, and 129 Holmes Boulevard, more particularly amending the zoning classification from C1 with the CPZ PED to GO2 with the CPZ PED overlay. WZ-19-25, Council District 1.
We can waive the reading on this matter. We are now opening the public hearing for summary number 26651. So anyone in the audience, please, if you're in favor, come forward at this time. Anyone opposed, please come forward. Madam Clerk, please note that no one has come forward in opposition or support of this matter. Councilman Kerner, your motion?
Move to approve.
Councilman Kerner moves to approve. And we will start the vote.
I need a second.
Councilwoman Van Rankin seconds. Opening the voting, closing the voting. The matter passes unanimously. Item number 12.
Summary number 26652, amending the official zoning map of Jefferson Parish, Lot 1B1BB, Square 22, Terrytown Subdivision, Section 2, located at 111 Wright Avenue, more particularly amending the zoning classification from C1 CBZ to C2 CBZ, WZ-20-25, Council District 1, and I will defer to Ms. Martin with the amendment.
It is, let me see.
Oh, thank you, Council Chair. The amendments are as follows in the first whereas section, amending the lot designation to 111A, the address to 111A and 111B Wright Avenue. In section 1, again, referencing 111A and 111B Wright Avenue to add a new section 2 with the following language: that the use of the structures located on Lot 1B, 1BB, Terrytown Subdivision Number 2A shall be limited as follows. A, 111 Wright Avenue, Jefferson Parish, Louisiana, shall be limited to only those uses permitted in the C1 Neighborhood Commercial District as amended. And B, 111B Wright Avenue, Jefferson Parish, Louisiana, shall be limited to the use of an event hall. to add an additional Section 3, that upon the sale of Lot 1B, 1BB, Terrytown Subdivision Number 2A, located at 111A and 111B Wright Avenue, the zoning classification of said lot shall automatically revert back to the C1 Neighborhood Commercial District without the need for additional legislative action. To add Section 4, which reads as follows, that the owner has agreed to this title restriction and to record this ordinance in order to put third parties on notice of the reversion provisions in Section 3 and to renumber Section 4 and Section 5 and Section 6.
Okay, thank you very much. Councilman Kerner, your motion on the amendments.
I'm going to move to defer this into the next meeting.
Move to defer this to the next West Bank meeting or the next meeting?
I think we'll have it resolved by the next meeting on the East Bank.
Okay, so deferring to February 25th, the next East Bank meeting. Move to defer by Councilman Kerner, seconded by Councilwoman Van Branken. Voting on the deferral of this item. If everyone would vote on the deferral of the item to the next council meeting. Ending the vote, the item passes unanimously. Madam Clerk, item 13.
Summary number 26677, declaring various adjudicated properties no longer needed for public purposes and authorizing the sale of the said properties to the adjacent landowner pursuant to Louisiana Revised Statute 472202.
Now opening the public hearing on summary number 26677. Anyone in favor, please come forward. Anyone opposed? With no one in opposition or support of this item, Councilman Walker, your motion.
Move.
Move on this item, seconded by Councilwoman Van Branken. Voting is open. If you'll vote on this item 13.
District 3.
Everyone, if y'all vote on this item, it's showing me 2 votes. I don't know, have you all?
They're all green over here.
Maybe the tally's just wrong. If everyone's voted, I'm just going to close out the voting on the matter. And it passes unanimously. The tally button must not be working. So item 13 passes unanimously. Madam Clerk, item 14.
Summary number 26678, declaring the intent of Jefferson Parish to acquire full ownership in Lot 2, Square 5, Westgate Subdivision, bearing 2621 Massachusetts Avenue, Metairie, pursuant to Louisiana Revised Statutes 472231, which has been adjudicated to Jefferson Parish in the name of Miles B. Porter III and Ruth Porter for the non-payment of property taxes. Council District 4.
We're now in the public hearing for summary number 26678. Anyone in the audience, if you are in support, please come forward. Anyone in opposition? Madam Clerk, please note that no one has come forward. Councilwoman Bohannon, your motion. Councilwoman Bohannon moves to approve, seconded by Councilwoman Van Branken. Your voting machines are open. And voting closed. The item passes, 6 yeas. And Councilman, you want to state on the record your vote? Yes. Technical difficulties. The item passes unanimously. Item 14. I don't know. That is not.
Maybe I voted too early.
I don't think so. Madam Clerk, item 15.
Summary number 26679, amending Section 2-87 of the Code of Ordinances of Jefferson Parish, Louisiana, relative to principal offices and to provide for related matters.
We're now opening the public hearing on summary number 26679. Anyone in favor of this matter, please come forward. And if you'll state your name for the record.
Robert Burkett, Jefferson Firefighters, 7 Bundy Court, Kenner, Louisiana. I rise for informational purposes. I certainly don't have the details, but if this would include someone over the East Bank Consolidated Fire Department's chief, that would be a violation of Louisiana Fire and Civil Service law. which requires him to answer to only the parish president here or the mayor in those cities that have mayors. Now, our local civil service board, Fire Civil Service Board, probably a year or two ago, allowed Mr. Lachute to be the buffer between the parish president and the chief. But to insert someone above the chief would either be a demotion of the chief or under fire and police civil service law, there is no one above the chief other than the leader of the community. So if that was included in this, I just wanted you all to know that that would be trampling on the Louisiana Fire and Civil Service laws. Thank you.
If the administration, let me make sure. Madam President.
I'm not sure what Mr. Burkett is mentioning. The East Bend Consolidated Fire used to report to Steve Lachute. He served as when we set it up, and again, this is the flexibility that I would like to give every parish president. You set up, you don't force people into this rigid org chart. You look at the skills that you have, and then you build an organization chart around those skills. When Steve Lachute joined me, he wanted to be the chief administrative assistant over some groups, including the firefighters, East Bend Consolidated, fire services, juvenile services, more of the law enforcement, because he came from a law enforcement background, and that made sense. With Steve's departure, I wanted to bring them under a chief administrative assistant. This is the ability and the flexibility that I would have as parish president, and I want to make the change now that better serves us, so we can make that change. Huh? Yes, and the ordinance doesn't reference fire. All the departments report to a chief administrative assistant. In fact, if anything, when our administration came on with Steve, that was the difference in history, is that departments reported directly to him. He served as the chief administrative assistant as well as the chief operating officer. If you looked at the clusters, he just served as that. That was the anomaly that we started. If anything, this goes back to a department, as all the other departments, reporting to a chief administrative assistant. So the history was there. If anything, what we did with Steve was different.
Anyone else who wishes to speak in favor of this item, please come forward. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition of this item, please come forward. Madam Clerk, please note that one came forward asking a question for clarification, no officially in support or opposition to this motion. Councilman Walker, your motion on the matter?
Move to approve.
Councilman Walker moves to approve this matter, seconded by Councilwoman Van Rankin. Voting is open. Voting is closed. The item passes unanimously. Madam Clerk, item 16 with amendments.
Summary number 26680, amending the 2026 operating budget, and the amendments are to allocate $1,200 from Council District 1's off-track betting fund to project number 45334-001 to pay a surveying invoice for the Gretna City Limits Timberlane Estates project, Council District 1. Allocate $13,000 from Council District 1's West Bank Tourism for a CEA with Champion Sports Management, LLC, to provide funding for concession equipment for the Ilario Sports Complex, Council District 1. Recognize a transfer of $100,000 from Council District 2's CDIA General Fund to Streets account number 2220030007344 for Old Jefferson Street improvements, Council District 2, and that's all the amendments I have.
All right, thank you, Madam Clerk. Councilman Walker, your motion on the amendments.
Move.
All right, Councilman Walker moves on the amendments, seconded by Councilman Bonanno. We'll start the voting on this item. It's telling me one more. I pressed mine, but I'll press it again. There we go. Ending the vote on that. The amendments pass unanimously. Let's clear the votes. Voting on the item as amended. Motion by Councilman Walker, seconded by Councilman Kerner. If you'll start the vote on that matter. I have two more. It's indicating haven't voted.
I don't know. I've just pressed it 3 times.
I know, I did the same. Ending vote. The item passes unanimously as amended. All right, item 17, Madam Clerk.
Summary number 26681, amending
didn't
the
open the public hearing on that
2026 capital budget, and the amendments are.
We didn't open the public hearing on that.
I don't know that we opened a public hearing on the item as amended. Let's go back and open the public hearing on the matter. So anyone, this is the operating budget as amended. If anyone has a desire to come forward and speak in support, please come forward. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Seeing no one, Madam Clerk, the public hearing on this item is closed. Now we will take Councilman Walker's motion on the item as amended.
I only noticed that because I skipped it so many times in the past. Move to approve.
Moved by Councilman Walker, seconded by Councilwoman Van Branken. Voting is open on the operating budget as amended. Two more votes on the operating amendments. All right, as voting is closed, the item passes unanimously. Madam Clerk, capital budget item 17.
Summary number 26681, amending the 2026 capital budget, and the amendments are to recognize a transfer of $1,200 from Council District 1's off-track betting fund to project number 45334-001 to pay a surveying invoice for the Gretna City Limits Timberlane Estates project, Council District 1. Allocate $100,000 from Council District 2 CDIA General Fund to street account number 222-003-000-73449 for Old Jefferson Street improvements, Council District 2. And that's all the amendments I have.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Councilman Walker, your motion on the amendments.
Move to approve the amendments.
Moved by Councilman Walker to approve the amendments, seconded by Councilman Kerner. We're going to open the vote on the amendments. Ending the vote. The amendments pass unanimously. Councilman Walker, your motion on the item as, I'm sorry, we have to open the public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak on the capital budget, please come forward if you're in favor. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition to the capital budget as amended? Seeing no one, Madam Clerk. Councilman Walker, your motion?
Move as amended.
Councilman Walker moves as amended on this motion, seconded by Councilman Kerner. If you'll vote, closing the vote, the item passes unanimously as amended. Item 18 is resolutions and motions from the floor. Madam Clerk, if you'll please call the roll.
Councilwoman Bohannon.
I have none.
Councilman Lulzberg. Councilman Kerner. Councilman Bonanno.
I have one, Madam Clerk. Would you please read it?
Yes, sir. A resolution changing the polling places for precincts W001, W003, and W004, Jefferson Parish, Louisiana.
Councilman, this is because it's coming from the floor, has to be a unanimous resolution. So if you're in favor of this resolution coming from the floor, please cast your vote. We're voting now.
Madam Council Chairman.
Yes.
Because it came from the floor and it wasn't on the agenda, do we have to have a public hearing on this one?
Well, we have to vote
Yeah, it's
first
coming.
for it
Okay,
to
all
come
right.
from the floor.
Thank
To come from the floor unanimously. I'm registering, there we go. So that's all 7. Voting is now closed for the item to come from the floor. Item passes unanimously to come from the floor and be considered. Now we're opening the public hearing on this item, coming from the floor for Councilman Bonanno to relocate a polling place in West Wego. Anyone wishing to speak on this matter? Seeing none come forward to speak on this matter. Councilman Bonanno, your motion?
Move for approval.
Move for approval, seconded by Councilwoman Van Vranken. Voting is open. Voting is closed. The item passes unanimously. Madam Clerk?
Councilman Lee.
I have a few.
Yes, sir. A resolution approving an amended and restated cooperative endeavor agreement by and between the Louisiana Stadium and Exposition District and the Parish of Jefferson, which modifies the terms of the original CEA in order to accomplish, 1, the implementation and turnover of the completed portion of the project to the parish, and 2, the completion of the construction of the remainder of the project by the parish with the renaming project funding. Council District 3.
Because this item is coming from the floor, we need to vote unanimously to allow it to come from the floor. So voting is open if you support it coming from the floor. Ending the vote. It is unanimously supported to come from the floor. Councilman Lee?
I move.
Councilman Lee moves, seconded by Councilwoman Van Vranken. Voting is open on the matter coming from the floor. If there's anyone who wishes to speak in support before we close the voting, please come forward. Anyone who wishes to speak in opposition? No one having come forward to speak on this item. Voting is open.
Because we didn't open the public hearing. We didn't open.
No one wished to speak in support, so we close the public hearing. No, thank you for asking. Councilman Lee?
I move.
Councilman Lee moves to pass this item. Voting is open. Seconded by Councilwoman Van Vranken. Mine is lit up. I'll do it again, just in case. Looks like one vote is out if the machine is saying correctly, and there's all 7. Closing the vote, the item passes unanimously. Madam Clerk?
A resolution appointing Ms. Jacqueline Carroll Jones to the Jefferson Parish Library Board representing Council District 3.
Because this item is coming from the floor, Councilman Lee, your move, or we'll need unanimous approval for it to come from the floor. I'm opening the voting.
I move.
All right, voting is open. To come from the floor, we need all 7 unanimously voting. Looks like I'm missing one. There we go. Ending the vote. The item can come from the floor. Councilman Lee, your motion on the matter.
I move.
Councilman Lee moves for, again, public hearing. Sorry, these coming from the floor are laborious. All right, so we're opening the public hearing on Councilman Lee's measure to bring Jacqueline Carroll Jones from the floor. Anyone wishing to speak in support, please come forward. Anyone wishing to speak against? The public hearing on this item is closed. Councilman Lee?
I move.
Councilman Lee moves in support, seconded by Councilwoman Van Vranken. Voting is open. Voting is closed. The item passes unanimously. Madam Clerk?
A resolution appointing Mr. James C. Simmons, Jr. to the Board of Zoning Adjustments representing Council District 3.
All right, because this matter is coming from the floor, must be unanimous. Please vote in favor of bringing this item from the floor. Waiting on 2 votes to bring this item from the floor. Ending the vote. Unanimous support for the item to be brought from the floor. We're opening the public hearing on this matter. Anyone speaking in favor, please come forward. Anyone speaking against, please come forward. The item has no one speaking for or against. Councilman Lee?
I move.
Councilman Lee moves for approval. Opening the vote. One more. There we go. Ending the vote. Unanimously approved as brought by Councilman Lee. Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Van Rankin.
I have none.
Councilman Walker.
I have none.
And I've completed the roll.
All right. Moving now to consent agenda 1. Councilman Walker, your motion regarding in globo adoption of the consent agenda numbers 19 through 66. Your motion?
Move.
Councilman Walker moves on 19 through 66 in Globo, seconded by Councilwoman Van Vranken. Opening the vote on this matter. Closing the vote. These items have passed unanimously, items 19 through 66. We'll go to item 67, Madam Clerk. So item 67.
That's the
Consent agenda two.
Oh, wait, hang on one second. Let me get to, okay, and that is consent agenda 2. I apologize. Councilman Walker, your motion regarding in globo adoption of consent agenda items 67 through 119 minus 68, which is to be canceled, 71 pulled for discussion, and 106, which is to be amended.
Move.
Councilman Walker moves, seconded by Councilwoman Van Vranken. We'll open the vote. Voting on the in globo consent agenda 2. Closing the vote. Those measures pass unanimously. Item 71.
A resolution in support of officially designating Jefferson Parish as the king cake capital of the world in recognition of its rich tradition of king cake baking, its distinction as home to the most numerous king cake bakeries, requesting members of the Jefferson Parish delegation to adopt state legislation to formally designate Jefferson Parish king cake capital of the world, and empowering the lieutenant governor to issue a proclamation recognizing and affirming the same.
King cake calories do not count. We have ruled it so. Councilman Walker, who created the king cake map, you have the floor.
My wife has had friends ask about my well-being lately because of the king cakes that we put on social media. I'm like, I'm not eating all the king cakes. A lot, but not all. Thank you, Councilwoman Van Vranken, for seeking this further exposure for King Cake Capital of the World. We kind of started this a few years ago, and I've heard some people in other places call BS on this too, by the way, and it's totally true. We created this map. Mark Burmaster in my office created this map with all these different locations in Jefferson Parish, and it occurred to us that all the best king cakes that we eat every Mardi Gras, with the exception of a few, but the large majority of the best come from Jefferson Parish. And we counted up all these, and we're like, man, nobody does king cakes in more volume, bakeries, distribution, anywhere else than in Jefferson Parish. So we kind of dubbed it King Cake Capital of the World. It took off during the bicentennial last year. There's a sign at Veterans and Causeway that's all lit up. And we've sort of made a thing out of it. So this will only help further that thing, whatever it is, and make it a little bit more part of the vernacular in our area. So we'll proudly hang our hat on King Cake Capital of the World because we can, and it's true. And if anybody tells you it's not true, then tell them to look at the map, and the proof is right there. So thank you. And with that, I move to approve.
Excellent. Councilman Walker moves to approve, seconded by Councilwoman Van Vranken. We're going to open the voting on this delicious item. All right. Voting is open. If you'll vote on your support.
Oh, he's not there.
Oh, all right. Anyone else wishing to vote? I'm only seeing 3. I'm not sure the machine is telling me correctly.
Clearly, that's a sign that Councilman Kerner hates king cake. Right?
All right. All right. I'm going to, Councilman Kerner, you want to cast your vote on King Cake Capital of the World? All right. I'm going to close the voting. It's telling me only 4. If that's not accurate, it is not accurate. 7 yays, exactly. The tally is tired. So we have unanimous support of item 71. Madam Clerk, item 106 for amendment.
A resolution approving the cooperative endeavor agreement between the Parish of Jefferson and the New Orleans Track Club to provide funding for the New Orleans Track Club's bicentennial park-to-park run walk at a cost not to exceed $16,000. And the amendments are, in Section 4, it should read that any costs associated with this agreement shall be taken from the following: $4,000 from 22030-2762-126-7680-225 203-62000. Council District 2's East Bank Tourism, $4,000 from 22030-2764126-7680-225, 203-64000. Council District 4's East Bank Tourism, $4,000 from 22520-2796-7680-225, 25206-000. Council at Large A, Economic Development, and $4,000 from 22520-2797-7680-225, 25207-000. Council at Large B, Economic Development. And that's all the amendments I have.
Easy for you to say. Okay, Councilwoman Bohannon, your motion regarding the amendments.
Move to approve.
Councilwoman Bohannon moves to approve, seconded by Councilman Liljeburg. Opening the voting on this item, on the amendments to this item. Ending the vote. The amendments are supported unanimously. Councilwoman Bohannon, your motion on the item as amended.
Move to approve.
Move to approve, seconded by Councilman Liljeburg. Voting is open on this matter as amended. Closing the vote. The item passes unanimously. Going to item 120. This is the addendum agenda items on our agenda. Madam Clerk, item 1.
A resolution selecting for SOQ 25-038 persons or firms interested and qualified to provide professional architectural engineering services related to the design, construction, and improvements of Jefferson Parish Head Start centers on an as-needed basis and to provide for related matters.
Councilman Walker, your selection.
All qualified firms.
Councilman Walker moves on all qualified, seconded by Councilwoman Van Rankin. I'm going to open the voting on all qualified. It's telling me one more person to vote if you wish to vote. There we go. Closing the voting. The selection of all qualified passes unanimously. Now go to items in globo. On the addendum agenda, items 2 through 23, minus 11, which is to be canceled, 16, which is to be canceled, and 22, which is to be amended. Councilman Walker?
Move.
Move on the items 2 through 23, minus 11, which is to be canceled, 16 to be canceled, and 22 to be amended. Voting is open on these items.
I need a second. A second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Van Rankin. Voting is open. Voting is closed. The measure passes. Those measures pass unanimously. Madam Clerk, item 22.
A resolution approving a second amendment to the Cooperative Endeavor Agreement between the Parish of Jefferson and the New Orleans Disc Golf Club, which provides for a disc golf feasible study for the design and construction administration of a second disc golf course at Parc des Familles and the production of a disc golf pro tour at Parc des Familles at an amount not to exceed $215,000 to provide an additional $30,700 towards hosting a disc golf pro tour Big Easy Open at Parc des Familles, a professional disc golf tournament that will attract top-tier professional athletes from across the United States, stimulating economic development and promoting tourism in Jefferson Parish, thereby increasing the maximum amount of the agreement from $215,000 to $245,700 and to provide for related matters. And the amendments are in Section 2, it should read a maximum amount of $240,700. And that's all the amendments I have.
Okay, Councilman Kerner, your move on the amendment.
Yeah, before I move on, I just want to thank our Parks and Rec department, Snoopy, Harold, Leo. They did such a fantastic job getting this place ready, and truly, it's going to be something very special for not only District 1, but the entire West Bank and Jefferson Parish. The amount of people that's coming to visit here, that'll eat at our restaurants, shop at our stores, is amazing. But the amount of work that they were able to accomplish in such a short time. If you haven't been to Park Day for Me, go walk around. It is beautiful, and it really shows how wonderful our Parks and Rec department really is when they all work together to achieve something so quickly. And with that being said, I'd like to move to approve.
Councilman Kerner moves for approval of the amendments, seconded by Councilwoman Van Vranken. Voting is open. Says one more. There we go. Voting is closed. The amendments pass unanimously. Councilman Kerner, your motion on the item as amended.
Move to approve.
Councilman Kerner moves for approval, starting voting, seconded by Councilwoman Van Vranken. Voting is open. Says one more. There we go. 7 votes in. Closing the vote. The item passes unanimously as amended. And again, as Councilman Kerner mentioned, the Big Easy Open, the first Parc de Famille, the first pro disc golf course in the state will be happening in March. So check it out. Item 23. Did we pass? We already passed 23 in Globo. All right, we will now go to our special districts, which is item 121. Madam Clerk.
A resolution authorizing and approving change order number 3 to contract number 5522690, instrument number 124444780, MOB 5090, page 837, with Severding Construction Incorporated, dated November 7, 2025, under bid number 50-00144-833, to include a time extension of 28 calendar days to the contract time for delays in installing new kitchen equipment for improvements to Fire Station number 13. Change order 1 and 2 represent a 1.18% increase of the original contract amount of $721,348. Council District 2.
All right, Council District 2, Councilman Bonanno.
Move for approval.
Councilman Bonanno moves for approval, seconded by Councilman Lee. Voting is open on this matter. If you'll cast your votes. Voting is closed. The item passes unanimously. Madam Clerk. That is, I realize, the end of the agenda in record time, despite the electronic voting. So we have no new business. We have no status reports. We've now reached the portion of our agenda where persons who wish to appear before this council on special subject matters may come forward. And if you would, please state your name for the record.
Robert Burkett, Jefferson Firefighters. First, let me thank those of you that have been working with us to try to resolve our ongoing pay issues. And unfortunately, I was unable to attend your last meeting. And I understand that the parish attorney suggested that you all haven't heard from us on declaring an impasse. But I guess I need to remind everyone that I appeared before this body at the October meeting after I had informed the parish administration in our last meeting that we had voted in our local to declare an impasse. I followed that up with a November 3rd letter declaring a formal impasse and listing the final offers from my organization, which is what I'm required to do under the Code of Ordinances that give us an impasse resolution procedure. It's my understanding that the parish attorney suggested that they haven't heard from us. Well, the November 3rd letter that I sent to the administration was copied to all of you, including the local media. So I'm kind of at a loss to suggest where do we go from here. Madam Chair, I would appreciate it if you could find out for me if there's some secret message or some secret way that I'm supposed to notify the parish that we've declared an impasse, and it's supposed to give us by code of ordinances that's been in effect for over 50 years, and we've upheld our part of that by not having any language in our Constitution and bylaws that allow work slowdowns or strikes. That's been in place for 50 years, and it's starting to seem it's one-sided. You know, we're supposed to be able to declare an impasse and propose to the public who pay our bills what their thoughts are on whether or not we should receive what we've asked for or not. So, Madam Chair, could you please find out for me what needs to be done from my organization so that this can get to the voters who should have that right?
Thank you, Mr. Brickhead. We will ask if there's any clarification the parish attorney wants to make on the record.
My understanding is that the Code of Ordinances, that the particular code article that he's referencing it does not apply to the East Bank Consolidated. Their rules are set forth in the Red Book. That would be my answer regarding the impasse. I'm not quite sure what the impasse is he's referring to. And as to his other comment, we have not received a formal demand letter from the East Bank Consolidated. I believe it was a series of emails, but it's not yet been any formal demand letter sent to the parish.
Well, I'll have my attorney send a formal demand. You know, but like I said, that provision has been in place, and we've changed our rules so that the general public would not be subject to having to concern themselves over us having a sick out or walk out or anything else. And I'm hoping that what's being suggested today is that hasn't been a one-sided deal that's been in place for over 50 years. I don't think that would sit very well with anyone. I don't think it would sit very well with the public. We'll follow up with that letter and we'll see where it goes.
Anyone else wishing to speak, members of the public, on any item?
Good morning, State Representative Vincent Cox, District 85. Excuse me, I have a minor cold. But regarding the Kingfish development, I just wanted to let everybody here know today that I've met with members, well, spoke on the phone with members of the executive staff of the Department of Administration and from facility planning from the state. The Department of Administration requested a meeting with me here in Gretna to take a look over the site, so the state is not saying no at this time. They granted me the time at their request to take a look at the project and come see it. So I just want to know that's where the state stands now. There's been many fits and starts to this project. I got involved to this crawfish boil. The water was already boiling. But all I'm asking is give me this chance to work it out. They suggested that they come down and look at the site, and they want to see exactly what the site is because, you know, they were even referring to it as a brew pub and a taco stand, and I want them to know that it's much more than that, and they granted my wishes. Actually, it was their suggestion that they come down and visit the site to give it another look. So I just wanted to formally put that on a record. We can go forward. We don't have to be the best friends on this matter, but let's at the very least not be enemies and give me a chance to work this out through these executives with the Department of Administration. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Council, Joe Marino, I'd like to make a request to the Inspector General. I heard her speak earlier today. She's requesting, she went on social media taunting and saying that this is what happens when you don't listen to the Inspector General, referring to this Kingfish Riverview Development Project. So here's my request for the Inspector General. In September of 2024, you published a public letter accusing this project of many different violations. The title of your letter in 2024, the accusations are donating public funds and property, public improvements without public bid, and lack of transparency. Since that time, you've done your investigation, but you have not published a report or a follow-up in all of your investigation. And I would like to see the report that says, one, No public funds were donated. No public property was donated. Second point, public improvements without bid. No public improvements were made without bid. And three, lack of transparency. No lack of transparency. I would like to see that follow-up report that shows that all of your initial accusations are wrong, wrong, and wrong. Next, you pivoted to attacking the leases in the project, and you were attacking the 2023 leases. The only problem with you releasing a report in July of 2025, where you're attacking the 2023 lease, is that you fail to mention that before you released your report, these leases were amended and they were approved by the council, and almost everything listed in your problems with the original leases is corrected in the amended leases, and you have not even had the courtesy to put an asterisk to say, by the way, the 2023 lease that I just trashed is not the current lease. So I would like to ask the Inspector General, when she's finished patting herself on the back, to do those two follow-ups for us and put them online. Thank you.
Hi, Nancy Pearson. I spoke earlier on resolution number 70, and I just want to say I've come before this council many, many times, and I consider some of you friends, but I'm very disappointed in this council today. I, through Google, found a newspaper article about this issue, and I also read 5 pages of reasons why the planning department wanted to deny this request, and instead y'all just went around it and gave it to them anyway. I checked with the assessor's office, and they have no record of the property or owner or anything else on this property. So, and I understand how the council works. You know, if the person that's district is in, they want it, then everybody votes for it. Well, the problem is these things affect other areas, other people's districts. The people in River Ridge suffer now because of things that are on the West Bank coming across the river. It's only less than a mile away from us. We're closer to them than half the people in Wagaman are. This issue is going to affect a lot of people in District 2 again. This concrete thing. The gentleman told you all the things that it can cause. Our membership is extremely concerned about the environment and the fact that this council just keeps passing things that should be out in the middle of nowhere, and you're putting it in very condensed areas of population. And I just want to say that I'm really, really sorry that y'all didn't even listen to, I hope everybody read the report. There's 5 pages of reasons why they said it shouldn't be passed, yet y'all passed it anyway. So I just, you know, I'm sorry y'all passed it without even hearing from them, but I hope at least you read the report. Because again, the next person that goes before the Planning Advisory Board and they get denied, I hope they come to y'all and say, we want you to exempt us from that too. You did it once, now exempt us. And people are just going to keep coming to you. Instead of going through the proper process, they're just going to be exempted. And I'm really, really disappointed in this council today. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Tommy Diskin, and I'm one of the members and owners of what has been commonly referred to by a couple of the council members on this council as the Beer and Taco Shop. And just have a few things to state. Number one, I listened to the Inspector General speak numerous times. Matter of fact, I was subpoenaed by her to give testimony, and we offered my testimony to the Inspector General and offered to talk to her in person, which has never, ever taken place. We offered ourselves when issues came up, and I've still yet to meet the Inspector General, Tommy Diskin. Number two, when the council goes forward at this stage of our project, which is now 60%
50 to 60% complete. We're aware of actions that are on the agenda. We're also aware of actions that are not taken by the newly elected District Council number 1, Mr. Kerner. The parish and the public are not aware that you have failed to approve various contract requirements of our contract and the construction that required implementation months ago, such as the purchase of certain equipment, which was at a discount for the parish that would have saved $35,000 minimum for all your constituents here in the audience. That still has not taken place. That is now turning into a delay of the project, which is going to cost your taxpayers more money and is going to cost this beer and taco shop more money as well. We've notified you of this, and other people have notified you of this, and still nothing has been released to the public. Number 2, we've sent you a request, or we sent you a notice of breach based upon that you're breaching the contract for construction of the building and breaching our contract to open timely, which is going to be a loss of revenue to the parish.
Again, that's your time. Thank you very much. Councilman Kerner.
Yeah, I won't get into too much of this because you did threaten litigation. But the equipment he's referring to, just so the public's abundantly aware, is brew pub equipment. This deal has the parish, Jefferson Parish, you, the taxpayers, paying for brew pub equipment for a wealthy company. So yeah, I am holding it based on the fact that the state determined that this wasn't considered a match, because that's what this council voted for. But I want to make everybody aware that it is brew pub equipment, and that discount he is referring to, that's a discount they didn't have beforehand. That's a discount whenever we were still trying to be good stewards of this project, even though we didn't like the fact that we spent $10 million on a standalone ballroom or a brew pub or whatever, selling ice cream, coffee, everything. Great business to make money. But when we were trying to be good stewards and we knew we were getting a 300% return on our investment, we actually found a way. Paul and my chief of staff found a way to get that reduction that wasn't there beforehand. So we actually did that. But whenever the state came back and said this is not a match, now we're in the phase where we have to do a fiduciary duty. It's not personal to Port Orleans. It's not personal to anyone. With the next few weeks, we're not exactly sure we're going to happen, where we're going to be. We're still meeting with different people, different experts. But I have a duty to protect the taxpayers' dollars. I have a fiduciary duty to handle a situation when we get news about the parking garage not being a match, because that is what this council voted for. That is what was sold to the public. And I have respect for certainly Representative Cox, who came up and said give him time. I look forward to being at that meeting. But right now we are running out of time, and decisions have to be made, and we need concrete information to make these decisions. So it can't be let's wait, and when it's open, it's too late. So I'm hoping we have a productive meeting on Friday. And of course, look, kudos to you for still trying to push this. I mean, I've had numerous conversations with facility planning where they are saying this is going to affect their bond rating. Now, if you're able to get them to reconsider that, which I don't, based on my conversations, I don't see. But I've seen crazy things happen, then we'll certainly, ensure that we get the match, and the project will go back to where, our stance will go back to where it originally was. But that being said, I just wanted to clarify those few things, but thank y'all for coming and speaking.
Again, if you'll state your name for the record.
Also here on behalf of Port Orleans, specifically on agenda item 103, the Fire on the Bayou contract. We talked to Jason Villamaret yesterday, and he assured us that he would not be merely echoing some of the things that we see from you, Mr. Kerner, on social media, that he wasn't just going to gloss up the things that you say. Things like that funding has been pulled on this project. This contract, which has been voted on a number of times by this council before you were around, Mr. Kerner, is not contingent upon a state or local match. It says nothing about a parking garage. The state understands their separate contracts. All contingencies have been funded through federal dollars, not taxpayer dollars. This federal ARPA, which this council redirected into the general fund after the payroll matter, it's all there. It's been appropriated. So what we don't want to see with the Fire on the Bayou work is more of the same. We're seeing in Terrytown, it's iced over. You have energy problems. You're talking about the Terrytown residents, but you slip in. We're sorry that you have a brew pub problem over here. You meet with local businesses. Hi, I'm Tim Kerner. I'm District 1. We own a brew pub. If there's more of that, I'm here to say, council, we see you.
Look, I appreciate you coming and pleading your case for your investment. I'm telling you, hey, it's a great deal. A lot of people would do the exact same. Now, I will continue to meet with businesses because I want to hear what their thoughts, because my concern right now, I have a few concerns, but just regarding your contract, I mean, I'm sure you've been in business a long time. I'm sure you are very aware that the parking garage was a match. As it was, we had commercials about it. It was voted on. It was mentioned here numerous times. So I would hope that you had appreciation for the fact that this was being used as a match as a professional. But, you know, my concern right now is the businesses that it's going to hurt down that street. That's the businesses I'm talking to. I'm more concerned about a class action lawsuit about the people who are getting put at a disadvantage because we're building a $10 million standalone ballroom. And quite frankly, I'm worried about our reputation. I'm worried about our reputation. I'm worried about the federal government saying, well, let's stop sending federal disaster dollars to Jefferson Parish because what we decide to use with it. Money, it could be federal money, it could be state money like was said, but it would not have landed in this parish without the suffering by our businesses and our community during COVID. And instead of giving that funds to help businesses who have fought tooth and nail to build something from scratch, who have paid into our tax dollars into this parish year after year after year. Money sent down to maybe give them a chance after the hurricanes they face, after the pandemic they face. Maybe build something to lift them up. But instead, we put $10.3 million into a private for-profit business for people who do not live, with the exception of one, do not live in this parish. Now, when we're getting 300% of our returns from the state for a public parking garage, maybe that wasn't worth the lawsuit to take a hard look at this because the public was getting something. But as it stands, I do not buy a ballroom or a brew pub or a taco shop to get around where we serving wine and mixed drink is going to be the economic development that the people of the West Bank deserve with these funds available. And we're not sure. We're going to evaluate this thing and be good stewards going forward. We have made no determination, but I'm telling you right now, based on what we have in front of us, it stinks, and I think this is the clearest cut we're going to see in Jefferson Parish of right and wrong. And I am going to do the right thing for the people. So that being said, no decision has been made, and you know, right now it's about It's about doing what's right. It's about doing what's right. It's about making sure we have a reputation of good government. It's receiving news that you lose the parking garage and taking a serious look at it. And yeah, I am, this is what I wanted to say. And yeah, I am going to bring it up when we have issues, like in Terrytown's energy problems. Because right now, I've been the only one really pushing and speaking out publicly. You see the support that this deal's getting. It makes me ask myself, when people don't have energy, there have been consistent energy problems in Terrytown, and then you see the amount of political support that comes for this beer pub to protect this investment. It makes me think, what the heck is going on? What is so important about this beer pub? So yeah, I am going to make those comparisons, and I will continue to make those comparisons.
Allotment, did I? I wasn't at 3 minutes. Can I respond very briefly?
One moment. Do you all have, he didn't go over his time? Okay, about a minute.
Mr. Kerner, each of the districts, after the council took the ARPA money and put it into payroll, which put that money back into the general fund, there's now a board that sort of oversaw the use of each district by district allotment. Some districts chose to do different things. Your predecessor, Marion Edwards, chose to do this. Imagine if every district member, council member, could undo previous contracts. This contract is substantially complete. It has nothing to do with match.
Well, here's the difference. I don't think this council, objectively looking at this project as a standalone project, would have voted without it being considered. And that's why it was pushed so hard that this was a capital outlay match. So given that and the fact that we lost that match, this is worth looking into. And now I am the District 1 councilman, and I'm going to look into it.
Mr. Kerner, I'd suggest the time for looking into whether the contract is enforceable is over.
All right, and again, this is not a matter of back and forth debate. It's an opportunity for the public to say your thoughts, share your thoughts on the record. Anyone else wishing to speak, members of the public, on any special subject matters? Any council members? I will just say, as a matter of personal privilege, I do want to just encourage people to go to the jpoig.org website to read those reports for yourself and be educated on this subject. And I appreciate Rep. Cox's appeal to civility. I think it is incumbent upon each of us to remain civil. We can disagree. We don't need to be disagreeable. And so I appreciate that appeal. And then lastly, I do want to make sure, because this is a point of clarification, that at this moment, and Parish Attorney, please state if this is not the case, but it is important to have on the record at this time that the last communication to Jefferson Parish from Facility Planning and Control is that the investment in the brew pub is not a match at this time, and then communication with the Attorney General determined she would not be weighing in. So at least at this moment, that is where the matter stands with regard to being a match.
I know that the Attorney General has told us that she is not weighing in. I have not seen the letter as opposed to where the match is. I would probably need to refresh my memory on that.
Yeah, I've seen both. So in writing, and those are the last documents in writing we've received. Anyone else wishing to speak? All right. Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, items to be read into summary.
We have to go back on one of the floor resolutions.
Okay.
Councilman Lee would like to cancel it.
Okay, we're going to revisit one of the items from the floor brought by Councilman Lee. Do we just need to entertain a motion to cancel?
Cancel, yep.
Okay, so Councilman Lee, your motion?
Well, I'm going to read it first. And
Okay, Madam Clerk.
A resolution appointing Mr. James C. Simmons Jr. to the Board of Zoning Adjustments representing Council District 3.
All right, Councilman Lee.
I want to cancel that resolution.
Okay, Councilman Lee moves to cancel that resolution, seconded by Councilwoman Van Branken. Let me open the voting on cancellation of that motion from the floor. Everyone cast your vote. You got yours? All right, ending the vote, unanimously canceling the item previously brought from the floor. Thank you very much. Madam Clerk.
Approving the request for a variance to the area and landscape of C1 and CPZ construction of a multi-retail center located at 1316 North Causeway Boulevard. Approving the request for a variance for signs, parking, building design standards, and landscape regulations, IMU, Town Place Suites by Marriott located at 812 Elmwood Park Boulevard. Amending Chapter 27 Water, Sewage, and Drainage Ordinance to clarify provisions for food services establishments. To amend Ordinance Number 14796, the pay plan for the classified service of Jefferson Parish to revise the class title for the classification of Emergency Management Coordinator 3. Amending Ordinance Number 27123 to correct an omission of intended modification of fees related to the spay and neuter program set forth in Chapter 7, Article 2, Division 1, Section 7-31A2. An ordinance amending the 2026 operating budget, an ordinance amending the 2026 capital budget, and that's all the amendments I have.
All right, is there any objection to the adoption of the ordinances read into summary on motion of Councilman Walker, seconded by Councilwoman Van Branken? Let me open the voting. Yeah, so let me rephrase that. That's our previous wording, I guess. All in support of reading these summary motions into the record. We're going to open the vote. Again, this is on reading these matters into summary. Ending the vote. The items pass unanimously to be read into summary. Motion to adjourn.
Oof.
Councilman Walker. Motion to adjourn. All voting on the adjournment of this meeting, seconded by Councilman Lee. I heard a yay from him. All right. Ending the vote. You want a voice vote, Councilman Lozeberg, on adjournment? It is unanimous. Technical difficulties. Thanks so much. Happy Mardi Gras.